There is a saying by Zen Master Dogen, which says in Japanese, Shusho Ito, meaning training and proof is the same or equivalent. And I wondered what it means, kind of like a koan, but I realized, so my interpretation is simple. We have those two universes I talked about, the mind universe and nature's universe, or the universe of how the law of manifestation is prevailing. Mind universe is human created, so human. And the universe of the universe is the nature's way, being created by God, if you like, or by following the law of nature. If I connect those two, it is equivalent of Shusho Ichinyo, or Shusho Ito, which means training and the proof is one. The reason is this: for those two universes to connect, human universe, nature universe, if that's the way we want to talk about, the nature's universe is prevailing all the time, except we forget about it or just don't realize it. So to realize it's awakening, so you can connect to the root. But when you connect to the root, you may be like the Garden of Eden. No mind may be functioning. So one way to put it. The other way to put it is this: if we have a well-prepared mind which follow the law of nature, what it means is that we have a basic principle of the law of universe somehow developed in our mind. And what it means is that if I use my personal understanding of it, I see that all the research, study, listening to Buddha's word, Christ, Meister Eckhart, Hindu, Sufi, even Japanese Shinto, and Taoism, it all have those two elements of human way and nature's way. That's one. And therefore, ideally, we have the alignment between human's way and nature's way. And one alignment may be found as we can come up with wisdom. The brain cannot solve the problem, but the answer pops up out of nowhere, as if, so that the power, force of the universe is manifesting and being, realization is made. So it happens on occasion, but when Dogen talks about Shusho Ichinyo, training and proof is one, it is to align the brain in line to the nature's way. That's the training. What he means by that training may be expressed in his book called Shobo-genzo. It's known as one of the most difficult books in Japan. But easy way to put it is that the sincere desire to align the brain function to the nature's way. If we bring in that thought sincerely and truthfully, and dedicating ourselves toward that end, the connection can be made. So when it's made, there's a proof. And when it's made, there is resonance, so to speak, or clarity. And that's what Dogen is talking about in that simple statement. I may read again that phrase that Dogen points, but I'm fairly convinced that's the right way to understand his message. I've been figuring out how the mind-body connection, or human way and nature's way, can be connected, as if the pendulum shift from one to the other. I may have mentioned using Kabir's poem that kind of a fluctuation in and out of the enlightenment and the human way can happen. So that's one other description according to Kabir. I think he was living in India, but Sufi origin. And there are lots of people who followed him. And I believe Daisitsu mentioned, I like one of the, 11th, I think, was the one that I liked his poem. So there are various ways to talk about the same thing, whether it's Dogen or Kabir or in Taoism. And even I may have mentioned Vernon Howard, two worlds that he talked about, inner world and outer world. Expression may sound different, but what it's pointing, like a finger pointing the moon, seem to be identical. So if we don't get it, we study the finger instead of looking at the moon. All the religious sutras and the saying may have to be understood from that point of view, universal point of view, following the law of the universe, not in a human way to dissect. It's beyond the human mind and the logic. And that may not sound right, for typically we use our mind. But as much as saying goes, such as man's extremity is God opportunity, when the mind has a limitation and there's a strong desire to pass through that limitation, that's the paradox. But when you pass through that gateless gate, we may find that resonance, awareness, state of being, and bring out blissfulness, sense of waku-waku, life energy flowing smoothly without blockage. Saying is easy, and when you realize it's easy, when it's done, but we may lose it. So Dogen's case, he point the need for just sit, as if have a calm and quiet mind, settled. So the waves are settled and clear, so you can see through into the ocean without any blockage. Or from the core of the ocean, we can see through, let's say, the moon shining above, instead of confused state of the waves as a symptom of our mind, moving this way and that way and searching this and that, right and wrong, what's more important than the other. Monkey mind. It's beneficial for the society's sake and for us to know what's going on, because mind function is not holistic dissection, good, bad, why not. Cannot perceive the whole picture unless our mind is clear. So we may go in and out that state, as in the zone experience or flow experience, whatever you call it, or meditative experience. But we need to practice in the dynamic setting of living life. And hopefully the discussion I've had two universes, human brain computer, back to the Garden of Eden, melting into the nature, calm and quiet mind, all of those can be understood and be practiced for us to be awakened, to realize who we really are. And if we realize, I think we have a way that we want to express it in whatever form possible for our own sake, but also with others, because that state of alignment or resonance with the law of nature, I believe, and I think you may hopefully agree, that is profound. As if take all the clouds away and blockage in front of your eyes are gone. Maybe at least momentarily, but find the importance of that. For us to realize that as human, seems to me this discussion we are going through is important and meaningful. It's for you to decide. But I have a certain desire, wish to confirm this and keep confirming whatever way possible, and perhaps further to deeper understand the point of all of this for our own living purpose. Be happy. All beings be happy.